We had to move the sheep. We didn't have to, but they were bleeding at us too much, meaning they were running low on food. We've been having to keep them locked up in locations much longer than we like because of this weather. But next week, we'll be able to move them. We'll be in the 50s and 60s. All this will get melted and we can move them back out there into the field. Now then, before we get to any more of the fun stuff, this video is actually going to be about those who are thinking about starting a homestead, or you're not thinking about, you're in the process of starting it. There are 3 things you must understand. You must absolutely understand these, and otherwise you will fail. It may not be this week, it may not be a year from now or 3 years from now. There will be failure. The first one is you cannot do this alone. Now, I'm not talking about a spouse. I'm talking about community, and I'm talking about God. Obviously, if you're not religious, you can ignore the God part. But you should be including God in your, if you are religious, in your decision making. Good, better, best. Talk given by one of my church leaders. Great talk. Just look up good, better, best. Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. Talk will come up. It's important that you do good. It's even more important that you try to do better, and even more important than that, to do best. What are these girls doing? Outside of that, community. If you're like us, oh, you're trying to bathe. Yeah, this sucks. Community. If you're like us, you moved to a whole new state, or at least a whole new location, far away from those that you know. You need to get to know your community. They'll be able to give you insight and tips to the area around you. Because, if you don't have God, you need to have your community to ask those questions. Because guess what? We're making changes and decisions based off of questions that we ask people in the community and questions that we ask God. Which is why we got sheep before pigs. The next one is kind of coincides with the first one. Let me see if there's anything in here. Yep, they're fighting over. For some reason, they all like to lay there. The second one is you guys need to be on the same page. Everyone involved needs to be on the same page. So if you have a spouse, you have a significant other, whatever, you need to make sure that you do so correctly. What do I mean by this? Well, I'm not saying your relationship needs to be perfect. What I am saying is you guys need to be on the same page, and you guys need to understand you are an equal partnership. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's a reason why in the scriptures it says that men should cleave unto their wives, and that women should submit to their husbands. That's not because one is greater than the other. It's a reminder to both that you're equals. If you read both of those scriptures together, that indicates and tells everyone who's listening, you're equals, period. Because cleaving unto one's wife shows, I don't want to say weakness, but it shows vulnerability. You're being vulnerable. You're being open. You are essentially submitting to your wife's wants and needs. Because trust me, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is because of how my wife wants to do the garden, and that's okay. And submitting to your husband does not mean that you give him everything he wants. It doesn't mean you show him respect. Now, why am I saying all of this? Well, if you think about it this way, if you're starting a homestead and you guys argue, or you guys try to one-up each other, or you guys are always disrespecting each other's wants and doing what you want, or you're saying one thing or doing another, and you're not communicating properly, your homestead will either fail, or you guys will wind up getting a divorce or breaking up, and you'll be fighting over who gets the homestead. Nobody wins in those situations. The third thing is take it slow, you guys. So many people, I've talked to so many people when we moved here who were getting out of homesteading because they burned out 2 to 3 years in because they bought everything at once, or they bought everything over a short period of time. So the financial strain, along with not seeing the success that they feel like they should be getting, coupled with the drain of working on so much at once when you're not conditioned for it, killed them. You need to get used to farm life before you add on to it. I'm not necessarily saying a lot of farm life. When we first got here, we just got chickens, ducks, geese, and that was it for a while. And I can tell you, sure, grocery trips and whatnot that we have to make right now until we have everything going, they can still happen just like in the city, but expect it to be an hour to an hour and a half round trip. It's not happening as quickly. There's a lot of strain in having to plan your trips for groceries, for tools, for building materials, for everything. And then taking care of the animals. You don't know what wildlife here is a threat to the chickens, to the geese. And guess what? If you get those animals first, you're gonna learn real quick what kind of animals you have to deal with. Us, it's coyotes and hawks. That's why we got this guy. He's gonna wind up being with the sheep full time pretty soon. And then we have these wires all over the place until we get our food forest built. Even after we get our food forest built, we're gonna have string everywhere to help reduce hawk attacks. So it's all about planning, because guess what? You're going to eventually need a truck, or you're going to be paying all the time for somebody to haul your stuff to your house, and that gets expensive fast. So that's what I got to talk about in this video. Like I said, future ones and the rest of them will be mixing pleasure in with the painful facts of life, because it's about knowing the truth and the reality of a homestead.